Here we are, my high school. Wait, what am I doing here? That's right, I graduated 3 years ago. I also live in California now, not Colorado, and it's the middle of the summer. Damn it, damn it. Activate teleportation. That's totally what just happened, right? Right? Well, after that long road trip back to California, I'm exhausted. I'll be right back. You know, it's kind of crazy to me that it's already been 3 years since I graduated high school. Time goes by way too quick already, but that just seems absolutely insane to me. After visiting home and seeing my old high school this last month, it really makes me look back and kind of miss high school. A little bit, for whatever reason. But how do you get over that? How do you move past that and move on? By watching movies, of course. Teen movies, to bring back that emotion and feeling. That's why today we're going to talk about the top 10 best teen movies of all time. Let's get into it. The teen genre is perhaps the perfect movie genre to take you back and remind you that special, unique time in your life. Getting laid and partying. At least that's what most of these movies would lead you on to think high school is all about. Although none of that was really true for my high school experience until about senior year. Leading up to then, my experience was just kind of pure awkwardness. There I am. Yeah, I had nothing going on for me at this time. And that's why I always loved the genre. It allowed me to partake and be included in crazy and fun, eventful stories at a time when I would just rather, sit inside and not really partake in anything. But it's not like I was really included in it either. So today we're looking at the best movies that capture the spirit and essence of being a teenager, no matter what decade.
Number 10, Wet Hot American Summer.
This summer camp film has an all-star cast that were lesser known at the time, such as Paul Rudd, Bradley Cooper, and Elizabeth Banks. This film makes fun of the summer camp genre in perhaps some of the most hilarious yet clever ways.
What'd you say, shithead?
I said, hey guys, what's your glitch, Gene?
Listen to me, you fucked up little cigarette smoking piece of shit. I was in the Vietnam War.
I know.
It takes place over the course of one day, the last day of camp. It's very well done, but you do have to ask, what else went on the rest of the summer if this single day was this absolutely nuts? I mean, we see everything, so much that you can't believe it all fit into one movie. Camp counselors doing drugs, several students who are either killed or almost killed due to their shitty counselor.
Talk to this kid.
Andy, where are we going?
To a big secret pizza party?
Wow, cool. I love pizza.
Yeah, well.
And, well, everything really goes back to the lousy counselors in this movie. Yet we root for them. And then there's the talking can of vegetables.
You there.
What the fuck?
Ouch.
The most underrated yet my most treasured character in the whole film wasn't even a teenager. It was this guy.
Camp and taught the campers about space.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, they'd love it.
No, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, it would be just...
I said no!
Number 9, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
What's up? We're here.
The story behind this film is hilarious. The author of the book in which the movie is based off of spent a year in high school pretending to be a teenager at the age of 22. That's just great. He took notes on every experience he saw his classmates face, whether in their social life or school life, which led to this raunchy yet heartwarming teen classic. The best character of the film, hands down, was Sean Penn's character. Now, was he just a dramatized made-up character, or did an actual teenager inspire him? Because if that's the case, I'd find that really interesting, but you'd also have to wonder how he felt about seeing himself portrayed in this manner in the film.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
Every guy who has seen this movie remembers the best scene though.
Number 8. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second. How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
And what teen movie list would be complete without at least one entry from the king of the genre, writer and director John Hughes? Ferris Bueller's Day Off follows a trio of high school students ditching class for the day in the city of Chicago, and it's all led by Ferris Bueller, played by Matthew Broderick. They enjoy themselves and cause a bit of havoc throughout the day, all while hilariously avoiding their dopey high school dean who's pursuing them along with Ferris's parents and sister. This was a movie that connected with me starting at a very young age, as it's a film that captured the spirit of youth very well. It does this all while giving us many reasons to relate to the characters and the story, even though most of us probably wouldn't have taken on the events that these characters get into ourselves. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is overall a timeless comedy coming-of-age classic that simply reminds us to live in the moment.
Number 7. 21 Jump Street.
This is a teen comedy that was a big surprise when I first saw it, but it's really all about the bromance. On the surface, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum's characters seem completely distinct, a mismatch of partners in the police field, but in reality, their chemistry is undeniable as we see them navigate their goal throughout the film. The writers of 21 Jump Street found a clever way to revive the TV series of the same name from the 1980s by creating a satire. It plays off of tropes from both cop movies and, of course, teen movies. Overall, an amusing yet action-packed remake was born. Not to mention, this movie just has some of the best yet crude dialogue that I've ever heard come from a film in the genre, which most teenagers will love.
You punched a little gay black kid in the face, it's not even second period.
Number 6. 16 Candles.
Did you ever wonder what it would be like to have your whole family forget your birthday, not to mention your sweet 16? Well, this movie answers that question. I'm not sure how many teenagers have actually dealt with this because it seems pretty far-fetched, but nonetheless, it makes for the plot of a pretty fun and relatable teen comedy. This was one of John Hughes' first teen movies, and here he struck gold.
Very clever dinner. Appetizing food fit neatly into interesting round pie.
He shows what it's like to be a teenager on a consistent basis, with the most outrageous yet sometimes true scenarios and situations that these characters get into. The dialogue in this movie is also perfect. You feel like you're watching authentic teenagers with legitimate problems. It connects with teenage audiences facing the same issues.
I told her you asked about her, right? The girl freaked. She had a hissy. She thinks you're the cat's meow. Really?
And that's exactly what a movie should do, right? Make the viewer feel a certain emotion and resonate with the audience even after finishing the movie. Although I will admit, there are some aspects of the film that feel unrealistic, such as the freshman geek ending up with the hot senior in the end. But we can still dream, right?
Holy shit.
Number 5. Superbad.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, my mom said we can have the TV from the basement, and I've got
Shut
like
the fuck
3
up, man.
lava-
He's gonna hear you. Just be quiet. Wait until he goes away.
You still haven't told him that we're rooming together?
Fogel, shut the fuck up. And take off your vest. You look like Aladdin.
This is a movie that's writers relied on its constant crude humor to bring in its audience and revenue. And that it did. It was extremely successful and for good reason too. Superbad was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg when they were teenagers, and that shows. The movie is given a layer of authenticity as once again these feel like real teenagers getting into real situations. The plot of the film also revolves around 3 horny teenagers who want to get laid, something a lot of guys deal with and think about while in high school. That, along with partying and getting absolutely wasted.
Number 4. Mean Girls.
Like, if I would blow her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, why didn't you call me back? And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me?
This film, written by Tina Fey, was a comical and satirical look at the high school experience for a teenage girl. The story follows a girl who goes to a real high school for the first time after being homeschooled for her entire life, leading up to now. Throughout this movie, we see her make her way to the top of the social ladder by becoming one of the most popular girls in school. And we see her drop back down to the bottom. Now, one thing I will say is that this is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Yes, I'm a 21-year-old straight guy, and this is one of my favorite comedies. But one thing I will say is that this movie stars 4 smoking hot girls. Now, fellas, why wouldn't you want to give this movie a watch? That's what got me into it. Anyway, it is hilarious though, which is one of the big reasons why I've always loved it.
I'm having a pour. The G's silent when I sneak in your door. I make love to your woman on the bathroom floor. I don't play it like Shaggy. You'll know it was me, because the next time you see her, she'll be like, oh, Kevin G.
Thank you, Kevin. That's enough.
But at the same time, it does give the audience a positive message in the end, and it gives us logic to consider after the movie is over as well. The biggest thing being, does the social ladder of high school really matter all that much? Or is it just all in the head? It's definitely one of those things you think more on after you've put high school in the past.
That I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Do you even go to this school?
No, I just have a lot of feelings.
Number 3, American Pie.
American Pie was the first successful crude teen comedy to come out in a long while at the time of its release.
You!
The humor and the characters that provide it are really what made this film shine. Everything caters to teenagers. These guys all feel so real, and they seem like the kind of group you would have liked to hang out with in high school. Because of this, we're rooting for them during their entire journey as they try and get laid on prom night.
This is our day. This is our time. And by God, we will not stand by and watch history condemn us into celibacy. Amen.
I like that.
Yes, we will make a stand. We will succeed.
About time!
We will get laid!
The success of American Pie made the movie an overall timeless classic and a necessary coming-of-age story for any teenage boy. This movie was such a big achievement, they got 3 sequels. They're not too bad, but then there was 4 spin-off movies, which I don't own because, honestly, those are all shit.
Number 2, The Breakfast Club.
This movie is about a group of teenagers sitting in detention for the day. Yeah, sounds fun, right? But in all reality, this was another John Hughes coming-of-age film that struck gold. The whole movie is all about teenage angst, family issues, social issues, and more that resonate within each one of our 5 characters. This whole dynamic made it a story that continues to be relevant and relatable with its audiences decades later. Now, there are no shocking moments or wild events that happen throughout the movie, but it's the chemistry and dialogue between the 5 students in detention that make it an entertaining film that feels sensible. In my opinion, this movie is in fact the most important coming-of-age story of all time, and I honestly believe that any teenager and every teenager should watch this movie no matter what generation they're from or decade they're living in. It held up in the 80s and it continues to hold up even today, making it something extremely special.
Andrew, you've got to be number 1! I won't tolerate any losers in this family. Your intensity is for shit! Win! Win! Win!
Number 1, Dazed and Confused.
This movie shadows a group of students throughout their last day of school. What we are given is a film that perfectly captures the teenage spirit in every way possible, but it's also a story that doesn't exactly have a specific plot that it follows either. Now I have a lot to say about this movie. It's my personal favorite teen movie of all time, obviously, but it's just one of those movies that holds a really special place in my heart and connected with me and related with me at the perfect time in my life. So, do you want to hear all my thoughts on Dazed and Confused? Next episode. Have a question, comment, or concern? Or maybe you just want to know more about upcoming videos? Check me out and follow me on Twitter for exclusive updates and more. Hello everybody, thank you for watching the newest episode of the Retrospect Lounge. If you missed the previous 2 episodes, check those out. Click the video on the left for a video game review of the movies on PC. It's pretty awesome. On the right, check out my list of the top 10 worst characters from good TV shows.